Hi, this is Adrienne Barbeau. Just call me Billy. Everyone does. And you're listening to WithoutYourHead.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is VC Dupree, Julius from Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan. And you're listening to the hottest horror radio joint this side of Crystal Lake, Without Your Head Horror Radio. Oh, shit.
All right, we are back, and we're joined by Domiziano Arcangeli.
Yes, this time was perfect, man.
Oh.
Excellent, Neil,
yeah.
excellent.
Give yourself a pat on the back for that. So how you doing?
Very happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you on. How you doing tonight?
Oh, it's great. It's a great night here in LA. It's pretty nice, sunny, and beautiful sunset. And I'm happy because I'm outside still. Like I was telling you, I was a little late from going back home. I was hoping to be home and to be calling from home. But I was stuck in traffic, so I stopped in this beautiful, hill. And I'm looking at all the sky and the sunset, and it's breezy, sunny. I couldn't be better.
Excellent.
I love it.
Excellent. Now, I've been told that you're actually in LA right now. Well, you live there, I guess, but I guess
Yes.
next week or the week after, you're going to be filming a movie?
Yes. I'm actually, I have three that are scheduled back to back right now. One is going to be here in the Hollywood Hills, actually, and it's a very sexy, mysterious stories of vampires and very, very gothic. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to India for a Bollywood movie.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, which is kind of funny. They found me. They saw one of my movies, a martial arts film that I did last year in Japan with a Japanese director and a U.S. co-production. And that was showing at the Osaka Film Festival. And the producers of this Bollywood movie were in Osaka, and they saw me in this film, and they said, "Oh, that guy is perfect to play the villain." So they came here to LA, they cast me, and so I'm going to be going to India for this other Bollywood project, and then I'm coming back for another LA film, Ghost. It's called The Ghost Machine, that I'm also co-producing.
Oh.
So pretty busy, yeah.
Definitely. In the Bollywood movie, are you going to be singing? Because I think they have a lot of music movies.
Yes, they do. In fact, it's a very long shoot. They already are shooting. They're already in production with that. But since I'm the main villain or one of the main villains of the story, villains normally don't dance. Tough guys don't dance, I guess. So,
right. That'd be a good name for a movie. Tough Guys Don't Dance.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, they made one, I think it was the Norman Mailer movie back in the 80s with Isabella Rossellini and Brian O'Neill, but it bombed, sadly.
Also a bad idea, Neil. Bad idea for a title.
Sorry about that. I actually read that you have music experience, I believe.
Music experience, well, what do you mean? Playing instruments? No, but music, yes. I have a huge knowledge of music, and also I've been always involved with a lot of people in the rock scene, rock and roll, and bands, and I always had, I've never been a groupie or anything like that, but I've been hanging out with a lot of bands, and very fond of music, from classical to rock, and more. I mean, any music, jazz. I love jazz. I love to listen to jazz at night. In fact, it's my new passion. Since I became more American than Italian, I used to live in Italy, but now obviously I live here, and I've always had two passports, Italian and American, but since I was brought up in Italy, I guess that makes me more Italian. But since I moved back to LA because of work, and I guess I needed a change in my life, and since then I love jazz too, and it's something that I kind of learned in America more than in Europe. still popular, I guess, there, but I guess for younger kids back then it wasn't. So right now,
no, I know you actually got into acting pretty young. I think 13 you made your first movie. Like, how old were you when you knew this is what you wanted to do? You wanted to be an actor.
Well, that was much later. It happened, I guess, when I was 19 or 20. When I also started to prepare for movies. Initially, it was some sort of escape. It happened by chance. I remember I was taking some pictures and with a very, very famous photographer, Helmut Newton, at the time in Europe. That found me in somewhere and through family friends, and we did this photographs, and then this very famous Italian director, Federico Fellini.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And yeah, he saw the pictures, and he wanted to. He called me in for a screen test, and I was just I didn't have any idea of what or anything. I love the movies. I always knew I loved them, and especially American films, because having parents from two different countries, my father being an Italian, my mother being an American, I wasn't very often with my mom, and whenever I had time to spend with her, she would take me to the movies here in the States, and so I would go back to Italy, with all these memories of American films, or Disney films, or things that were not so popular or as popular, in Italy. And so that's always been like a major passion. And but being an actor, no, that happened quite by chance.
Right. Now, do you think they just he just liked your look? He could tell he had a certain charisma, or what do you think drew him to you?
Well, yeah, I hate to say that, because I really escaped that sort of image that was created by the photographs, and then Fellini giving me this part in his movie Intervista, and then I went through a series of cult films that were just, some were horrors, some were other genres that were very popular in some sort of B-movie scene in Europe in those days, in the late 70s and then 80s, and they were very stylish film, but sometimes they were also very, typecasting you. I think they used to call me because I had that type of face that used to be very well known and kind of trendy at the time, but then I didn't like that. I just didn't like to be so passive, and I expected to be directed throughout the picture, and that wasn't really good. I guess for me it was more about making the money and run to a place with my friends and party and have a good time. I didn't even know all this big people I was lucky enough to work with when I was so young. Then eventually, I realized how lucky I had been, and also I had some guilt because I could have made so much more of certain experiences instead of just letting them pass by me, or let them happen, But it is what it is. At some point I realized this is really what I want to do, and then I started to really prepare seriously. At that point, at 20, 21, I was doing proper preparation for a role, or before getting one, and now as well. It's it's been a lot of ups and downs, but I've been working for 29 years, and I think I have over 80 films on my credits.
Yeah. There's
not all good,
well,
but a lot of different experiences. Now I'm going to Bollywood. I mean, who knew? I mean, I worked pretty much internationally, but I would have never imagined to do a Bollywood movie. That's for sure.
Yeah.
New experiences.
Is it different for you if you acting like in English and acting in Italian, or is it the same kind of?
Well, it is a little more difficult because I had to prepare more, especially if it depends which way they want me to sound. When I have a script and it's memorized, I don't have to translate or I don't have to think about it so much, so I just can concentrate on what I'm saying, and so I speak faster. And obviously it's memorized and it sounds a lot better already, but sometimes, like, if they want, I've done French, I've done Hispanics, I've done Middle Easterns, I've done all different ethnicities since I've been in the United States. One of my first U.S. roles, in fact, I was Brazilian. I think it was at this Zalman King Showtime show called Chromium Blue. That was on for 2 years, and it was pretty fun. And we were shooting in Spain, and I was playing a Brazilian character in this crazy boat. And that was pretty embracy show, actually. Showtime. That's when cable started to be so daring, and so with Zalman King, I was Brazilian. Then I moved on and I did a lot of different other nationalities. So now, on top of everything else, I have to study a different accent from the same time I do a role. So it's a little more challenging. If I'm Italian, I just speak Italian. That's more of my first language. So I don't have any thoughts about that. I just speak it.
Exactly.
It comes out,
we got a caller here on the line. We got Tommy.
Hey, this is Tommy Doom.
Yes, hi.
Hi, and my question for you is, I actually got two. My first one is, I think you may have mentioned it, but what's your greatest inspiration for going into acting?
Well, the greatest inspiration for going into acting is to reach people. It's always so hard to communicate, and in these days, I realized, even when I was a kid, I realized how much more you would grab a crowd or a group of people if you were on a stage, or if you were just, and how much power you would have. Not much power in sense, I'm not saying political power or anything like that, but just, if you're good, the crowd will, the audience will receive that, will perceive it, and they will follow what you're saying. And I think it's wonderful if you can make a character alive. If that person that's just merely on the paper becomes alive, and if they see it, or if they follow it, it's such a success. I think that maybe was one of the inspirations. Also, it's such a great job in general. I love to travel. I love to change environments. There's never a dull moment, whether you're working or you're not, because when I'm not working, I'm auditioning, and it's every day, let me tell you, a challenge. You have to face casting directors, go to an appointment at Sony, then run over the valley at Warner Bros. And be another place in the afternoon. It gets pretty busy. It's tough. But then, again, it's my life and I like it. It's the life I choose, and I'm blessed, I think. So I'm very thankful for that.
What was your second question, Tommy?
My second one is what's your favorite horror movie?
I love horror movie. I think there is something very psychologically. I don't know. It's some sort of psychological dark sensation that a horror movie, provokes. They are. I find them fun. I find them thrilling. I also find them provocative because they make you think, what if that was real? What if something really that disturbing was happening? And so they. Besides, the thrill ride that you get, it's also rarely a horror movie doesn't make you think, doesn't make you, remember of a certain person. Maybe that guy I knew was just, really like this guy I'm watching now, a killer, or he was hiding something. Or it's fun. It's fun. I think I've always been also a big fan of Halloween and all those fun celebrations.
Right.
I don't know. I always loved it. I love more psychological horrors than slashers, but I've been doing a lot of both, and I've been getting used to a lot of blood. So
yeah. I was going to say, I was watching the trailer earlier for Samurai Avenger, and there was a lot of blood in the trailer.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, that was pretty. It's pretty gruesome. I don't know if everybody can watch that, but yeah, I don't know if I can tell how I'm ending. I don't know. I shouldn't say, but it's not a good ending either. I mean, I've been decapitated. I've been, just pulled in pieces, eaten. They ate me with a spoon in another movie that's coming out called Flesh Mannequins. A lot of different ways, it just makes you think, wow, I've been dying so many times. Maybe when it's the right time, I'll be more prepared. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, hopefully, that'll be a long time in the future, and it won't involve someone.
They say that when you die in movies, it makes your life longer. If you die, many times in movies, that will make your life longer. That's what they say in the movie business anyways. I don't know if it's true. We'll see. Because if that's the case, hey, I should live until about 210 or something.
Well, and you've been averaging, about 3.5 movies a year, so that's a lot of movies to be doing over that time.
Yeah, it's a lot, yeah.
I mean, if you're living at 210.
Oh, yeah. I was just kidding. I don't think I'd to 100, to 110. Nobody would, especially these days. The world is complicated and populated enough. I'd be just curious to see how it is in 100 years. I just hope it gets better and better and not worse and worse. Right. I'm hoping it's going to be a better world, a better place. I'm always very involved in that, in environment and issues, especially in animals and rights, and that's been something that I'd like to mention because that's one of my main passions. Take care of environment and animal rights. It's something that I've done since I was a kid, and I'm still pursuing it. Every time I have time off of work, that's what I do. I volunteer for a rescue animal service that's called rescueapet.org, and also I'm always attending environmental meetings and nature, how to live in a better way in this world, what we need to know and what we need to do to try to make this place a better place to live in.
That's a good thing.
Definitely. I just want to know, we talked about some of the decapitations and getting eaten with a spoon and stuff. Like when you're filming those scenes, what's it like to go through all the like the makeup and the special effects? Is it like time consuming, and how do you enjoy that? Like part of making a movie.
Well, to tell you the truth, so that's not my favorite part. It's very long. I remember they were preparing me for a long sequence in this new movie coming out soon, Flesh Mannequins, the House of Flesh Mannequins, which is made, a little bit after those cult from the 70s and 80s. And there are actually so many actors from that genre that came back just to make a cameo in the movie. But I had this major scene, and they were preparing, this cast, and then all the blood and the guts, and it took 4 hours. And thankfully I was sleeping, but then I finally woke up, and I had all the stuff all over me, and it didn't smell good, it didn't feel good. I'm allergic to prosthetics a little bit, not so much to prosthetic actually, but to the removers. They use those oils, those substances to remove prosthetics. I'm allergic. They normally give me a rush, so I normally, when I go home, I'm all like red, and it's something that I like to see, but it's better when it's done for me. I like to see it, to watch the movie when it's done, and then I scream and I howl and I have fun. But while I'm doing it, not so much. I'm always happier when the movie's in the can and everybody's happy.
You mentioned the movie House of the Flesh Mannequins, and you can read about the movie. I think you can see the trailer and whatnot on fleshmannequins.com. Yes,
it's pretty disturbing. Yeah, it's a pretty disturbing film. Mm-hmm. It took a lot of guts to make the movie. We've been already, the Vatican and the Roman Church already threatened to sue, and we had already a few lawsuits in Italy. But then the movie won the first prize in Rome for cultural and artistic merits. And, in fact, it is a very artistic film. It's not just a bunch of, shock value scenes like they pretend it is. We would have never made it. It's a movie that deals with a lot of different themes, and a lot of those, I don't think they're spoken enough. I don't think people talk enough of some of those subjects that are in Flesh Mannequins, like the snuff making film, like there are just enough. And, we kind of sort of ignore it in a way because it's so obviously, it's such an atrocity that we don't even want to know. Obviously, I'm a sane person, at least me, I don't want to hear about it. But then again, it's true, it happens. They told me actually there's a place here in the Big Valley in San Fernando where it happened more than once, actually often. And they are on commission, they are made for certain wealthy gentlemen or people from the Orient or from different countries that I don't even want to mention now, but, they make them. They do make them. And the victims are normally children or young people coming to LA seeking fame and fortune, and they get hooked by someone, and then they bring them in these places, and they film an agony. I think there's nothing more disturbing than that. As much as I can be a horror fan, I can be somewhat of a name in horror films, in international horror films, but when it's fake and it's fun, it's great. But when it comes to that, I freak out. I just, it's something that I do not want to even talk about, but then again, maybe it's right to talk about it, because it does happen. And that movie deals with that. So, it was a pretty rough project to put together. But I'm very happy because it turned out the way we wanted it to be. Certainly shocking, but also with a strong redeeming quality. And it's not just exploitation. That's what I'm saying. In fact, it's not at all exploitation in that case, because we didn't want to make an exploitation movie on such a terrible subject matter.
All right. We got another caller here. Who is this?
This is Nick.
Hey, Nick, you got a question?
Yeah, I was wondering, over your whole long acting career, is there a particular project that you're most proud of, or put the most work into?
Yes. Well, that's a great question. Thank you. I'm very proud of a few films. I'm very proud of the Fellini movie, of course, because it won an Oscar, and because it was a great experience, not only at a human level, but also because I got to work with such an incredible director, and seeing one of his sets was like seeing a work of art. Man, I tell you, the props, the paintings, the people even working in those sets were all artists, real artists, and it was major experience, especially for a kid like that. It definitely changed my life a little bit, anyway. And then I loved working with Mickey Rourke. I did this movie a long time ago when he was much younger, and he played San Francis of Assisi for a very famous director, Liliana Cavani, who made a very famous cult film called The Night Porter with Charles Rampling. She was one of the she was one of the big directors at the time, and even now. I mean, even she's older now and she works less, but she's still a very admired director. And we made this movie on San Francisco of Assisi with Mickey Rourke, and working with Mickey Rourke was really extraordinary experience. I'm not saying this because it was up for Oscars now. I always knew it, even if his career went, like most of us, we have ups and downs, but he's always been such an actor, such a real man, open to the character, opening his soul to the characters, and that was really moving. I learned so much just by watching him, and just how to express real feelings as opposed to recreate them on a set. That was miraculous. It was a great experience, and what a wonderful man he is. I'm really happy that he's finally coming back, because he really deserves it. Really deserves it.
Well, thanks for calling in, Nick.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah.
When you're talking about the House of Flesh Mannequins, and you're saying like it came out how you guys wanted. Now, what did you have to do? Were you just an actor in the movie? Did you have any other roles in the movie?
No, I produced also the movie. I'm one of the producers of the movie. It came out. It was at first I was looking for something for myself, for a character that would be sort of a vehicle, but I was not able to read anything really interesting. I didn't want to make a small movie just to make a small budgeted movie, and like many people do, I wanted it to be something really special, and even my agents were sending me scripts. They were not. They were all like cable movies to me. They were not very original. They were, the same thriller with this and that, nothing amazing. So through friends, I've heard of this guys in Rome who had this script, and one of them was actually the son of a very famous producer of B-horror films, Joe D'Amato. He was, one of the major B filmmakers in Italy in the 60s and 70s and 80s. And I had worked with his father. And so he remembered me, and he thought I was perfect for the film. And knowing that I was looking for something to produce, they came to me and they brought the story. And at first I was like, my goodness, yeah, the character is wonderful. And, it is such a great occasion for me as an actor to play such a part, and having such an incredible, persona and character in this film. But I was a little scared. I was a little freaked out about the snuff, the snuff film element into it. And also, some parts of the script are very, very tough. And I had to think about it, but then we went through a rewrite, and I brought in a few ideas, and then we ended up making it, and really well. I mean, it's actually turned out to be, again, I think, a very, very good movie, especially considering the budget we had, which is not that small. I mean, it's not one of the smallest budgets, but it's obviously not a big Hollywood movie budget either. Right. So I'm really proud of the final result, and the lighting, and everybody was so committed to that film, from the beginning to the end, to make it good, because we all knew that he was going to have sense only if it was going to be good, not if it was going to be bad, because especially when you're talking about certain particular themes, you can't do that only if the movie is really telling them sincerely and honestly, and then it will come to the people, that will go to the people, and it will bring the movie to a different level. If it's bad, it's bad, and then you're just that movie that's talking about very bad things. And that was not the idea. So we were very committed. It was a long casting, a long preparation, a long shoot too. We filmed in Rome, in Italy, for a few days, and then in LA for a month. And now it's finally all coming together really, really well. We're so excited, even just this award that we immediately got in Italy after one screening. I mean, the movie is now doing the festival circuit in Europe, but it's not even here yet. I have as soon as I have a screener copy, we'll start submitting the movie to festivals in the United States and in other countries. But I'm really, really excited and waiting to see what happens here, what kind of response it gets.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe the Without Your Head crew here could get a copy.
Exactly.
We're just always trying to get freebies out of all the guests.
No, and I'll be happy to send you even more. If you tell me the titles, I will just make a big package and I will send them out.
All right.
I have quite a few DVDs that they sent me, and I have my TV room is just like piles and piles and piles of DVDs. So I'm always trying to get them to friends.
Just trying to get
sure.
Exactly.
You actually, come here, help yourself. I have some of the strangest, weirdest movies you've ever seen. I mean,
Right.
I don't know where I found them or how I got them, but I have them.
What would you say would be like the weirdest role or like scene that you yourself ever were part of?
Weirdest. By weirdest, you mean like really just strange, or just really gory, or?
Well, either way, like something you remember that you're filming and you were just maybe it freaked you out, even though it's a movie, but just filming it freaked you out, or you thought it was strange, or something that sticks out to you.
There are, I don't like to be. We were shooting this movie, which had this fetish element to it, and I some of the extras, I was tied up in like a cross. And that was a position already extremely uncomfortable, especially during the summer under the lights, and then for hours and hours. And so I was crucified and like Jesus Christ, and just tied up. And I had all this crowd around me of extras, and at some point they were supposedly pretending to beat me up, but some of them really started to hit me for real. And I must say that wasn't really pleasant. And when the first, I was very professional. I didn't say anything. I let the take to finish. But when they called the cut, definitely my words were hurt. I wasn't too nice about it. I was about ready to jump across and start kicking butt. It's like I just don't like that type of violence, and especially I'm very professional in general as an actor, but also as a person. I tend to be very respectful of other people, and I don't like when that happens on set. It shouldn't be happening. And that was really the only very weird experience that I recall, because all the others were fun, mostly fun. Even, being decapitated or having my head being split in two. Or,
right. Always good.
I don't know. Other stuff, other fun stuff like that. It was what it was, but it was fun at the end. It's all fun memories. But that I'm still kind of angry about, because it wasn't good. Also from the production and from the assistant directors to make sure that they were not gonna hit someone who's tied up.
Right.
And doing on top of it, working on a professional performance like I was giving a lot of mine in that moment, and it was actually very disturbing to be hit and hit and hit, because it wasn't helping. I found it completely unnecessary, and was almost like a lawsuit. But then we settled it.
Well, remember those guys in case the roles are ever reversed. If you're ever
know.
the guy doing the hitting,
But they know, believe me, they know by now that they better not do it again with me.
Right.
I mean, after all, I'm nice, but then, I'm like, how was that saying? I'm good when I'm good, but when I'm bad, I'm better. Well, totally right for me.
Everybody, too, you guys got to check out SamuraiAvenger.com, because you can see the trailer for Samurai Avenger, The Blind Wolf.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it looks great. It's very original, unusual. Well, you want to just tell everybody quickly what it's about?
Yes, well, it's about this night first of all, it's an homage to the spaghetti western. So it's the traditional story of a hero whose family has been completely killed, murdered by an evil, villainous person with me, and in the movie actually, and he comes back even if he's blind. He comes back for revenge, and through 7 secrets linked in the 7 muses of the martial arts, he will be able to defeat the evil forces and get his revenge back. And it's very interesting. It's a mix of a lot of different genres, from Western to zombies and sex exploitation, real Japanese martial arts films. It has all of these different ingredients, plus, cameos from Amanda Plummer and Jason Statham and all this other people, and it's just a very special film. I really loved working with the Japanese director, Kurando Mitsutake. That was another great experience. Really, I felt extremely well taken care of, very well directed, and also because I was playing again the bad guy, and it took some time.
Like doing the bad guy.
Perform. I'm sorry. What?
You like being the bad guy in the movies.
I like to be. I get cast. It's not that I like it so much. I get cast as a bad guy very often, and I have to do some scenes like in Samurai Avenger. I do terrible things, and it was very hard. But with the help of the director, we made it very, very believable. I mean, I'm very happy with that performance. That's certainly one of my favorites that I've done lately. And in fact, the movie is just being, it's just opening around the world in different festivals. It was at Fantasporto in Lisbon, which is one of the main fantasy film festivals, and in Osaka, and in another place. But it's getting great feedback. I think the movie will go a long way.
Yeah.
Very, very
that's awesome.
Very entertaining. Yeah.
Did you have to do any martial arts training or like swordplay training for the movie?
Oh yes, yeah. We worked. I was working, and that was very challenging because I was working on another movie. I was completing another movie that's about to come out called Frankenstein Uprising.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun too, with a cast of old Hollywood glories from Margaret O'Brien. Won the Oscar for Meet Me in St. Louis, that Judy Garland movie in the 40s, and then there was Anita Page that just passed away, Jerry Marin, one of the Munchkins from the original The Wizard of Oz, and so all this cast of Hollywood glories, which makes it even campier. But it was really fun. I was like finishing that movie and at the same time training really hard with this instructor who was training me and other 2 actors for Samurai Avenger. And it was great exercise, though. Since then, I got really in excellent shape, and now I do it. Believe it or not, I got hooked into it, and I do it a couple times a week.
Oh,
it's a very good discipline. Not just the body, but also for the mind.
Yeah.
It's really good, yeah. And it's all about, a lot of people think, that fighting, it's just fighting, and, you learn how much it is about breathing and about, stretching and about relaxing some parts of your body as opposed to, being always tense. It was awesome, yeah. No, but major fight scenes that I did for real didn't have stunts or anything either on that. All my scenes were done by me. So,
that's wild.
You will tell me, when I send you the DVD, you'll have to write back and tell me. You tell me how much you like them.
We have you on tape here saying you sent us the DVDs, so we don't get them, so we have it here. You talked about Frankenstein Rising. I think you actually play Dr. Frankenstein in it, Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah, I play Victor Frankenstein, the father of the creature.
Yeah. Now, is it basically the traditional story, or is it like a little bit different?
Well, it's a little bit different. It's an update. I mean the traditional story, which the movie is, it goes back and forth from the traditional old story and the grandson of the protagonist, of my character, basically, who's in modern-day Los Angeles finding a manuscript and finding a way to revive the monster himself. And so the movie it goes back and forth, flashbacks in the past, in the real past, back in, in the Austria and Geneva in the 1800s, and then in modern, today, Los Angeles, with the grandson, and sort of similar family situation. His wife cheating on him with his brother, and but it's definitely very, very interesting and very beautiful. And Randall Malone did a wonderful job in playing the creature, we've had a couple of very moving scenes when I have to burn everybody, and especially him, the creature. Because when I realized that, he went too far and is just causing all this death, I have to, pick up a fire on him. And anyways, I won't say too much, but we all know what happens. But it was a very emotional moment between the monster and his dad, his creature. And I don't know, I don't remember having seen a movie before where there was actually that sort of chemistry between the monster and his creator, his father. I don't remember seeing that before, so we got to work on that, which was very interesting. Mm-hmm. I really liked making that movie. I think it's also very beautiful. It was shot in beautiful places, like all the period buildings and costumes that we had for the movie were really, really gorgeous. So can't wait to see it myself.
Yeah. You talked about traveling for all these different movies and stuff. Where would you say was like the nicest place you get to see while filming a movie?
Well, I really love Japan, actually. I think Japan was so outstanding because maybe the culture is so different. And I love Japanese food, and I discovered a lot of art. I didn't know they had all that art. Maybe, as an European, as an Italian, I'm used to the art that we have in Rome, for example, and a lot of European arts that's even available, I don't know, the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. here or in New York. But I didn't know there was so much in Japan that's actually absolutely striking. And if you go up north in the more ancient cities, they are wonderful medieval little cities, and I was lucky enough to be there when it was cherry blossom season, which made it particularly beautiful. So Japan definitely was very interesting. But also I loved Africa. I went several times in Africa. This was many years ago for different films, but we were shooting often in Morocco or even in Kenya once. And that's another continent that really impressed me a little bit. Not just because it's different and poor, but also can be very beautiful too. I was impressed by the beauty of some of the sceneries there. I don't think we realize what we miss sometimes in this world. Not by knowing and not by being there. We don't know of a lot of things that instead are in Africa or in other countries, and when you realize how much there is, and it makes you think. At least it made me realize how much I want to work for the environment and just try to prevent this beautiful gift that we have to get destroyed by wars or fires or human disrespect towards nature. I'm once again that's my first reasons of living today is that it's really the preservation of the environment and of the nature and the animals, and I admire whoever does work for that, because it's very difficult, and most of the time it's not paid or it's all for free, non-profit, as you say. So it is very important, and I'm always trying to support any organization that does that.
Yeah. Well, let everybody know you can check out your website at DomizianoArcangeli.com, and we'll have the, in case you don't know how to spell that, we'll have the link right on the website so you can click on it for everybody out there, so that people can find out what you're up to, what you're currently working on.
Yeah, no. Do you want me to spell it?
No, I have it here. But
okay. Yeah. So, no, I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
I would just plug in your website and let everybody know if they didn't know how to spell it, that we'll have a link right on the website, so they can just click on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's Arcangeli. It's like they have to keep in mind the archangel.
Right.
So that's normally very, very easy to remember. Arcangeli, archangel, without the H.
Exactly.
And Domiziano Arcangeli. It's a good way to keep in touch with me and see what's happening. Also, MySpace is great for that. I have another page on MySpace. That's myspace.com/Domiziano Arcangeli, one word, and there are daily updates on that too. And then there's Facebook, all this new, I'll tell you, man.
Yeah, Facebook's a new thing. We just, Without Your Head, just joined Facebook recently. So.
And it's becoming just huge. It's a phenomenon. I mean, I get so many requests, friends requests every day. Even that, I'm passionate about it because it's something that puts people together.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's really fun. It's a easy way to get in touch with people and to discover different lives. Or we wouldn't have had a chance years ago without the computers and all this to know what someone does in another country, and instead I have friends who write me what they do every day, and that's weird. It's fun,
That's great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they follow up, they research me, they find if I make a movie, they support me, they go buy the DVDs, or they go and, try to catch the festival if it is in Europe, and, they go see it, and then they tell me what they think. It's cool. I mean, I love it. I really spend a little time every day on it. So.
Yeah. A perfect example right now, I have a browser open to Facebook, and Samantha Jackson is listening to the show, and she's in England, and we're in America. And I decided to give a shout-out to her because she said I had a cute laugh. So.
Oh, very good. Very good.
We will.
She didn't have any questions, though. I asked.
No, she didn't. But we want to thank you for coming on tonight. I know you're
pulled off so much
somewhere.
Thank you. Yeah, from now on, I'll just start the car again and go home. But this is LA. Hey, you got a real glimpse of LA through this interview, I think, because it's normal for us to be in the car sometimes and, just sit here and have a conversation for like an half hour and then get back on the road. It's what happens. It's such a dilated city. The distances are huge. So it's like we're always on the phone, man. But anyways, it was great talking to you guys, and thank you so much for having me on your show, and best wishes for all of your endeavors to Neil and John, and then what's the other guy? Troy. I think, right?
Yep. Good man. He remembered them all.
If you check out the website, Troy actually drew your caricature.
Right on. Right on.
Now.
Yeah.
And you guys, if you have your own pages, you should send me requests on my pages on MySpace or Facebook, so we can keep in touch.
Excellent. Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, really appreciate you coming on.
Good night.
Good night,
Thanks.
man.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
This is Herschel Gordon Lewis. If you know who I am, God help you. If you don't know who I am, God help you. But what you're watching here or listening to is without your head, and I can tell you that I have contributed to the loss of your head. So thank you for being there.